Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is a van camping overnighter in a brand new location. So I have never been here before. Came down a dirt road, found two spots actually, landed on this one just because it's open and wide enough. It is late in the day, the sun is setting right now, so it's a very late start today. But this openness was going to give me plenty of light to basically get started. There are a couple pieces of firewood already here from other people camping here. Very large campfire pit. And I think this is going to be a great spot to call home for the night. So, where it is so late in the day, I'm going to do a very quick coffee. And then I'm going to start cooking supper because I've got a whole bunch of fresh ground hamburger meat. I've got all kinds of good ingredients, some fun cooking things, some new pieces of gear as well that I want to test out. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few things set up and carry on with the evening. Alright guys, well, cup of hot coffee on the go right now. The temperature is coming down quite quickly actually. The night sky seems to look open still. Not a whole lot of clouds. It is hazy, but not a lot of clouds. So that might mean we'll get lucky with some stars this evening. We'll have to wait and see. But this little tiny wood stove is a new piece of gear. It's very interesting. So I know right off the bat, a lot of people are probably wondering, can you use that for a hot tent wood stove? The answer is yes, you actually can. It's small, it does not fold, but it's very affordable. So if you get a titanium roll-up chimney pipe, much like all my flat packing titanium wood stoves for hot tenting, you can adapt that to this little stubby piece of pipe. Take off the pot stand and you can actually use this as a small wood stove to heat a tent. It is throwing a ton of heat. It has an ashtray in the bottom, a removable table here which you can move from either side. I put it on this side because it seems foolish to have it above the entry where you put the wood in. The legs do fold, but that is about it. And like I said, there is a removable ash pan in the bottom that comes out, introduce a little bit more air, and to help clean the stove out. So very, very cool. So yes, you can use this as a hot tent wood stove, and I may do that actually. I'll have to work out the logistics of that because obviously it's a little bit heavier. It doesn't fold, so I have to put it in my backpack to hike out. I guess I could do an overland Jeep trip and maybe run this in a small tent just for, you know, a little bit of heat and cooking, but that thing is working like a champ. So hot coffee on the go. We're quickly losing light, and I do have some hamburgers that I want to make up from scratch, and most likely cook it right here on this, utilizing all these little twigs and stuff. And then we'll see what we're doing for daylight, because there's a big log over here. I did not bring my axe, I forgot it, but I do have my handsaw and my mini electric chainsaw. So I'm sure we can get some wood inside of that fire pit and light a campfire and kick back and enjoy a couple brews underneath, hopefully some stars and some crisp cold air and a little bit of warmth from the campfire. So cheers guys, let's finish this coffee up and then get cooking. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, it is getting dark really quickly and it's quickly catching up on me. So I did bring some rubber gloves because I'm going to be mixing up some hamburger. I brought some liquid smoke. This is hickory liquid smoke. This is going to make these burgers a cut above the rest. I do have some lights on in here like I was saying, so I'm going to try and do all my prep on the little fold-out table here in the van, and then take the frying pan over, get it on top of the wood stove, and do the actual cooking outdoors. That'll help keep all the spatter out of the van and the smell of burgers out of here because it's kind of gross after a day or two. So I'm going to do all my prep here, and then like I said, run it over there, cook it up, and enjoy some hamburgers. Alright guys, so this is where the glove part comes in hand, or comes handy, I should say. Basically, I don't want my hands reeking of liquid smoke, is what I'm trying to say. This liquid smoke is incredibly delicious. Makes burgers way better than any other burgers you've probably had before. But it sticks to your hand for days and days and days. So, 2 latex rubber gloves here. What I'm going to do is I've left some of my red onion whole and a little bit of red pepper whole that I'm going to put on top of my burger. All the diced red pepper and the diced red onions, I'm going to dump into the frying pan right now, because this frying pan is going to double as my mixing bowl as well. So we'll get most of that in there. That's good. I do have salt and pepper I'm going to add to this, and the liquid smoke, of course, which smells incredible. So I'm going to go not crazy heavy with it, but it's going to be smoky for sure. So got all that in there. I'm going to add some salt and pepper and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Glove up, mash it up, patty it, get some more wood in that little wood stove because it has gone out right now. Get a headlamp on, probably go and collect a few pieces of wood really quickly, and then it's cooking time. Alright guys, well supper is all finished up with, and I've got to say, 2 thumbs up on those burgers. Those were huge, and I am totally stuffed. So I did manage to scrounge up a little bit of firewood without getting out the electric chainsaw or the handsaw. Just broke down a piece of wood that was just kind of laying around. Also found a very dead softwood tree. It's punky, but it's burning actually quite well, so I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm not going to be out for too much longer, I don't think. It is getting quite damp looking up into the sky. I can see some stars, but like I said, it's hazy. And I'm not sure if the camera's picking up, but there's actually quite a bit of moisture droplets flying around here. So I will be getting quite damp, and I really don't want to be soaking wet going inside the van. So I'm going to relax and enjoy this fire until it's out, and then basically shut these lights off and head inside and get nice, cozy, and warm, change into some nice clothing. Probably pop on a movie. We'll see what happens. But for now, campfire mode. Alright guys, campfire is burned out, and it is time to get cozy in the van. So pretty much right now I think I'm good with the state of the van. I'm very picky on getting in the van and getting situated for the night. I don't know if that's just my thing, or if some of you guys RV campers or van lifers or overlanders had the same issue as me. It's a little bit of OCD. I like everything clean and organized. I like my surfaces not cluttered. So right now I do have a headlamp plugged into the actual van batteries. So that's charging. I've got a camera lens over here. I've got my pot or my cup and my canister stove, my toque. A couple of those things are going to stay over there, but my immediate surfaces where I like to kind of reach and do things, I like those clear of any kind of mess. So I'm going to be getting changed into base layer pants and some nice thick wool socks. I also have, these are shorts. Maybe I don't have those pants in here. I do have the top to those base layers. These are extremely comfortable, by the way. From NATUREHIKE. They're a little bit heavy, but man, they are super warm, super thin, and I love being inside of a big sleeping bag and in the middle of winter with these base layer pants on and the top, because you could like crocodile roll in your down bag and it does not follow you. So it's awesome wearing base layer pants that are, you got a little bit of sheen, a little bit of slipperiness to it. Like I said, these are from NATUREHIKE. I don't remember the name of these, but they are really good. It says adaptive comfort. Not really a whole lot of information. It says NATUREHIKE on them. But yeah, it took me quite a long time to find a really... Oh, Outlast underwear is what they're called. The NATUREHIKE Outlast underwear. And these are an extra large that I'm wearing. And typically, I would normally wear like large. I went a little bit bigger because they stretch, and I always find that base layer pants are sized a little bit smaller. So I'm going to be throwing those on. Super comfortable. Like I said, I got my thick socks. I'm going to be taking my hoodie and my Fjällrävens off, get those hung up somewhere where they can get a little bit drier. I do have the diesel heater fueled up right now, so it's off right now. It's reading internal temperature 12 degrees Celsius right now. Outside, it is 4 degrees Celsius. So a huge difference. And I have not turned the heat on at all, but what I think is happening is all the heat from the fire has been lofting in the door and heating up the van. Not much, but a little bit. It is starting to get a little bit colder though, because I came in here a while ago and that was actually reading 16 degrees. So right now it's reading 14. So it is getting a little bit colder, but I'm going to get comfy inside. I don't think I really have anything to mention about the inside of the van, other than I did modify the lights, and I did a red LED strip down below, if that's picking up on camera. If not, I'll show you guys in a moment. But basically, when I get all of these lights off, I wired up a red LED strip underneath of the cabinet. I also wired them outside of the van, so when I'm outside cooking, that whole sill where the doors open shines red light down, which is really nice to come in and out of the van. It's super easy on your eyes, and it does not burn a lot of power. So real quick flick on and off switch. I love that. I am going to be lighting a candle, get some little bit of ambiance going on in here, get these bright lights shut off. Gonna be watching a movie on my phone as well. So let me get changed and I'll be right back. All right, so just got changed and organizing where my clothing's gonna go, just so I can get up early in the morning, or if I need to get up in the evening, I know where my stuff is. It's nice to know that. So what I've been doing lately when it's cold is taking my pants and my boots, put them there for now, but in the morning what I do is I actually put them near the end of the bed, the side of the bed, because that's where my diesel heater vent is. And when I get up in the morning, I just reach over, turn the diesel heater on, and it starts blowing hot air into my boots and my pants. So then when I do emerge out of bed, I get to put on nice warm clothes, which is always awesome. So I've got Boomer's food dish and water bowl down here. This is his little area, which is why I'm kind of keeping this stuff out of the way, because he likes to go back and forth. Sometimes he'll lay on the laminate floor where it's nice and cold. Sometimes he'll lay on the carpet. Sometimes he'll jump up in the bed. Every time I turn the lights off and go to sleep, he's always on me. Always. At home, in a tent, in a van, everywhere he is stuck to me like glue. Which I'm not complaining, but this gives him freedom to go back and forth wherever he needs to go. I have a ton of snacks in here, guys. Like, these mesh pockets are full, absolutely full. Right now I'm running the refrigerator on my Graycell T1000. We're at 89%. When I got here, it was at 92%. And I did bump it down to -6 degrees Celsius just to get it really cold really quick, because I plug my fridge into the van when I'm driving. When I park, I plug it in there. So that is all I'm gonna need. This trip, it's gonna be cold up there. It'll be warm back here, and that's why I love this whole door system. This can be warm, the front can be cold, keeping the fridge cold. I've also got the Jackery Explorer 2000 Pro. I'm not even gonna touch that this trip. And yeah, taking a look outside, I do have the door still open right now. I can see the coals in the fire, totally fine and safe. And yeah, I got a couple lights I need to charge up. So I've got my headlamp on there right now. I've got that stand light. I will be charging this up as well in a bit. And that's basically it for the evening, guys. I just wanted to give you a different perspective. And yeah, no more updates with the van. Haven't really done a whole lot. So that's basically it. So I'm going to relax, and I'll catch up with you guys first thing in the morning for coffee. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful morning out here today. The trees are just soaking wet. You guys can see the pine needles in the background just dripping wet, which means it did not get down to freezing last night. My chair is a little bit wet, actually, and yeah, pretty quiet out here also, I must say. Very, very quiet. Listen to this. Not a sound. Very, very silent out here. So, morning coffee, very much needed. See the steam rolling off that. It is chilly out. It's about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius right now. Not terribly cold, not terribly warm, but definitely my kind of weather. So, left the stove out all night last night. It is drenched, soaking wet from all the mist. It didn't rain, it's just mist and yeah, just the temperature difference between the day and the night creates that condensation. The mist blows in all over the place, soaks everything. So this worked incredibly well. I'm actually very happy with that. I was going to light it again this morning, but I decided I didn't want to wait for the cool down time to pick it up and move it, so I just used the gas canister. That ashtray, I did not dump this at all. That's it. That's all the ash out of all the wood that I burned in there. That burns pretty efficiently, I must say. Quite a handy little unit. I'm very happy with that, and I did do some thinking about it last night, and I do have plans with that. So, but that, absolutely awesome little stove. Now keep in mind, I was only using small little rounds of softwood. If I had my axe, had I remembered to bring it, and sourced out some hardwood from this area, you know, good size hardwood, and split it in half and loaded some logs in there, that thing would have burned for a long time. Very, very responsive with the damper, or the draft. There's no damper on it, of course. Now, I believe this stovepipe is 2.5-inch diameter, which is extremely common on the market. There are stoves that have pipes with dampers built into them. So that's something to think about going forward if you were to use a solid section of pipe. But I have got a little idea with a roll-up titanium pipe. See if that fits on there properly. And I think we can get that in the shelter. As a little cook stove and a little cut the dampness kind of stove. It definitely won't heat an entire tent. I mean, a small tent it would, but a big tent, no. But it is nice to have a renewable fuel source. So, morning coffee today, and it's hazy. It's a little overcast, actually. It doesn't look like it's going to be sunny today. Looks like it's going to be foggy and hazy out today, so I'll take it. Cheers, guys. Morning coffee. Alright guys, so still enjoying my coffee, but I figured I'd come over here and do a little bit of a cleanup and talk about a few things while I'm doing so. I did end up running the diesel heater early this morning. You guys would have heard that in the first few clips of both the exhaust and the fan of that diesel heater running. And last night I turned it on, I want to say probably at about midnight. I turned it on for, I don't know, 15 minutes on speed 2. Very, very low, just to cut some of the dampness. I didn't want condensation building up inside of the van, as Boomer and I were both in there, and just not a cool environment to be in there, and it starts getting moist and you can see condensation on the walls and the windows. Now that condensation is from the stove, but I did turn it on for about 15 to 20 minutes. I got the internal temperature up to 19 degrees Celsius very quickly, and keep in mind, we're watching a movie wrapped up in a blanket, so a little bit too warm, but it killed all the moisture and condensation off. No problem. And yeah, I shut it off, went to sleep, woke up early this morning, like I was explaining last night, bump on that diesel heater, turn it on to speed 4 this time just to get it hot really quick. And the van was rocking 22 degrees Celsius within about 15 minutes. My shoes were warm, my pants were warm. I was ready to get out. As soon as I started making coffee, I reached in and shut the heater off, so it went through its cool down phase with the fan motor kind of running, pumping out the air. But that thing is extremely helpful, absolutely helpful. And I know a lot of people talk bad about these diesel heaters. Personally, I've had a lot of them, not because they failed, but because I have a lot of projects where I've placed them into. And my diesel heater tank is right here, actually folded up in here. And I have not had any problems with any diesel heaters other than one when I first purchased it. Very, very first. And these diesel heaters were new on the market. Any brand. Right now I'm currently running a Vivor heater in 8 kilowatt. And it works really, really well. I use one for my hot tent, my rooftop tent. I've used one in my other vehicles. They work really, really well. The only thing that I would really suggest with the diesel heaters is take practice in installing them, because they do have a lot of error codes if they don't breathe in enough air, if they don't exhaust enough hot air in. There'll be restrictions on air inlet and air outlet, which creates a combustion code. There are, if you guys look down here, down below, I have my fuel pump here suspended, hanging, and there's no kinked fuel lines. And the reason why it's hanging and it's inside is two reasons. One, inside it's not going to be subjected to any kind of corrosion. I know some people put the pump underneath their vehicle just to get away from the noise. I think that's a bad idea. Eventually it will short out, and you know, road salt on the roads in wintertime, it'll erode. But number two, the noise. So I have mine suspended so it doesn't actually make a lot of noise, and it's inside, so it's well protected. So fuel line's not kinked, power source, it's rigged up to the onboard 400 amp hours, never an issue. Yeah, it works really, really well. So turning that on, warm up the entire van, not a problem. So I'm gonna hack some of this stuff up, and this is another bonus of vehicle camping is I don't have a tent to take down. I do want to make sure that's cold enough to touch though. I've been burning myself a lot lately. No tent to pack up, so it's very simple to, you know, as long as you don't bring a ton of gear, it kind of relieves the stress of having to pack up. You know, this is super, super simple. Put all my stuff in a neat, orderly fashion back into the van, ready for the next outing or next camping trip. And yeah, everything went really, really well last night. I was really happy with this location. Driving in a little bit late in the day, not knowing how much light was going to be available, still getting out and cooking outdoors, which was really fun. That wood stove was awesome, and just enjoying, you know, everything, being out here, the silence. I can hear my own ears ringing. That's how silent it is right now. Like very, very, very quiet. So awesome. I'm hoping I get some frost and snow very soon. I do have a hot tent trip plan that I want to do. So yeah, so this area is basically tidied up. I have a few things in the van. I got to put bungee cords on my drawers for the food and kitchen items so they don't go flying out when I drive. And that's basically it, guys. So I'm going to go finish up my coffee, and that'll basically be it for the video, I think. Probably wrap it up here. Spend some time with Boomer and make sure everything's tucked inside the van and get out of here, get the video edited for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. And until next time, peace out, and I'll see you in the next adventure.